One coin, two prices, 30 cents or $204,000. Same year, same face. The difference isn't rarity, it's a magnet that costs $1 and a piece of plastic that costs much more. In 1943, America made its pennies out of steel. A few came out copper by mistake, and those few became the most faked coins in this country. You'll see how a professional separates a 3-cent coin from a $200,000 one in about 30 seconds. You'll see what the real ones actually sell for with dates and auction houses. And you'll see the one number the entire internet gets wrong about this coin.
1943. Copper is a war material. Shell casings, telephone wire, radiators. So, for exactly 1 year, the United States Mint stops making the penny out of copper and starts making it out of steel, coated in zinc. Silver-colored pennies. People hated them. They rusted in your pocket, and vending machines spat them out with the slugs. Across 3 cities, the mint struck 1,093,000,000 of them. But when the presses changed over, a handful of last year's copper blanks were still sitting in the hoppers. They fed through with the steel. Nobody counted them because nobody meant to make them. The best estimate is that about 40 came out. Fewer than 20 have ever been confirmed, and every one of them walked out of that building looking like the most ordinary object in America. 1944, Long Beach, California. Kenneth Wing is 14. His parents buy him rolls of pennies so he can fill his coin boards, and in one of those rolls is a 1943 cent that is the wrong color. Someone offers him $500 on the spot in 1944. He turns it down because he wants to know what it is first, so he writes to the United States Mint. On August 20th, 1946, the acting director of the Mint, Leland Howard, writes back, and I'm quoting, "There were no copper cents struck during the calendar year 1943 at any of the coinage mints. Only the zinc-coated steel cent was struck during that year." The coin in the boy's hand did not exist. 2 years later, he showed it to the superintendent of the San Francisco Mint, who looked at it and told him it was genuine. Same government. Opposite answer. Meanwhile, a rumor is doing something strange to the rest of the country. In April 1947, the Ford Motor Company is buried in letters. Thousands of them, from people who heard that Ford would hand you a brand new car for a 1943 copper penny. Ford said over and over that there was no such offer, it changed nothing, and it wasn't even new. 30 years earlier, the same story promised a car for a dime stamped F, OR, or Dean instead of a mint mark. No such dime ever existed. That is the month a 16-year-old named Don Lutz bought lunch in his high school cafeteria in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and got a copper 1943 cent in his change. He wrote to Ford. He wrote to the Treasury. The Treasury answered in 26 words. Copper pennies were not struck in 1943. All pennies struck in 1943 were zinc-coated steel. He kept the coin anyway, for 71 years. So how do you actually tell? Start with a magnet, $1, 5 seconds. A 1943 cent is steel. It jumps. If it jumps, you're holding a coin worth somewhere between 8 cents and 50 cents, and you're finished. If it doesn't jump, weigh it. Copper is 3.11 grams. Steel is 2.7. Then put a loop on the 3 in the date. On a real one, that 3 has the same long tail as the 3 on a steel cent, because it came off the same kind of die. Then look at the rim. Soft copper, struck with the pressure meant for hard steel, comes out unusually sharp. Pass all 4, and you have proved nothing at all, because the ordinary fake passes them too. Since the 50s, people have been plating steel cents with copper and filing the date off in 1948. So the last step isn't a test, it's a signature. And that gap is where the internet lives. Search this coin and you will be shown with the number right there on the screen that a 1943 D penny sold for $298,000. The most watched video on this subject says exactly that, 7 minutes in. Now here is the vintage of that coin, 217,660,000, 217 million, It is one of the most common coins in your parents' junk drawer, and it is worth about a quarter. The trick is simple, and once you see it, you can't stop seeing it. Take the price of the one impossible coin and quietly hang it on the ordinary coin from the same year. That same video does it 3 more times: 1945D, 1954D, 1953D. Their combined vintage is over 1.5 billion coins. So what does a real one bring? January 8th, 2019, the press picks up Don Lutz's penny, Newsweek, worth $1.7 million. The Baltimore Sun, up to $1.7 million at auction. 2 days later in Orlando, Heritage sells it. Final price, commission included, $204,000. The auction house estimate had been $170,000 the whole time. CBS ran a correction on its own headline. The follow-up stories changed to sales for far less than expected. 204,000 is a real number with a receipt behind it, and it keeps good company. 348,000 in April 2021, 372,000 that February. And in a single Statsbauer session in 2013, an about uncirculated example brought 317,000, while a higher graded mint state one, spotted, brought 164. Better grade, half the money, which leaves the 1.7 million. That number is real, and it belongs to a different coin. Exactly one 1943 cent came out of the Denver Mint in bronze. One. It's Blaze. A Denver Mint employee made it deliberately and then kept quiet. The story only surfaced in 1996, when his family sold it for $82,500. 14 years after that, the same coin was worth 20 times as much. In Scepter Way, 2010, it changed hands for $1.7 million. Privately. No room, no paddles. 2 dealers and 1 buyer. Texas Rangers owner Bob Simpson. 11 years later, Simpson sold his collection through Heritage. And that same coin, in the same plastic, graded mint state 64 brown, brought $840,000. Nothing about the coin had changed. Not the metal, not the grade, not the story. What changed was who was allowed to bid. The magnet tells you what it's made of. The plastic tells you it's real. Neither one tells you what it's worth. That gets decided in a room on one afternoon by whoever shows up.
3 episodes, 3 answers. The 1933 Double Eagle, a piece of paper made it legal to own. The Central America Gold, a paper trail made it shipwreck gold. This one, a signature, makes it real. The coin itself never changes. What you are buying every time is somebody's certainty about it. And the price of that certainty moves. So before you believe a number on a thumbnail, ask 3 things. Who paid it, on what date, and in what room? If nobody can tell you, it isn't a price, it's a story. Check your change anyway. 2 boys did, and both of them were right. Next time, 700 gold coins come out of one cornfield at once, and what that does to the price of every other one. Subscribe.